Hey y'all, it's Chesson,
And Ashley.
and we are back for episode 4. This is rounding up our month of
Hmm.
relationships, and today we're diving deeper in a couple of the topics that we got some feedback on. Um, I'm going to be talking about boundaries, and Ashley is going to be talking about pressures as women that we put on men. These are not topics that we are wonderful at or that
Right.
we have it all together with. These are topics, some that we do better than
Hmm.
others, but they are touch points that people have interest in. So we're going there,
Yeah, we're going
and
there.
yeah, we're just going to do it.
Yeah, yeah, I'm excited. So, yeah, we are just as a reminder, we are on try to get this done right.
You got this.
You know, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Apple Podcast.
There
Yeah,
are a few others, but I don't know what they
yeah,
are. So,
yeah. That's the majority of them. So, yeah, definitely follow us. We post things as well. So we have weekly episodes, but we also have our interaction posts too. So feel free to interact, like whatever you want to do.
yeah.
All right.
And our podcast always new episodes on Wednesdays,
Mm-hmm.
early Wednesdays, so you can listen to us on your car ride to work if you want.
That's right. Best time. Get your day started with us. It's
We'll
not
start the
scary.
chaos for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
All
Are
right.
you kicking this one off or am I?
Let's jump in. Let's jump in with boundaries. I like this one. Several people have come to us to ask us questions about, to dive a little deeper in there. So,
Yeah, and I loved it because the feedback that we got about boundaries
hmm,
were all from younger adults,
I love that.
all in their 20s. And some of them have figured it out, but they were very clear that it was not something that they knew how
Hmm.
to do, that they had to learn, which of course all of us
Right,
did. It was not something that we talked about growing up,
right.
or we didn't
Hmm.
anyways. I don't think boundaries was the word that we used, but they expressed that it took them a long time or they have no idea where to start because there's
Right.
fear of rejection. Fear if they set these boundaries that people are going to walk away from them, and how do you enforce the boundary,
Hmm.
and like just what does it even look like? And I was like, wow, I took some time to reflect on my 20s,
Hmm.
even 30s, and now.
Yeah.
Boundaries was not
Hmm.
something that I thrived to have or respected myself enough to set.
Ooh. I mean, that hit. Yeah. I mean, even when you hear them, to actually do it.
Well, yeah, and when someone else is setting the boundary, if
Hmm.
it's not healthy, it can come across as an attack.
Yep.
And you then have to be like, whoa, hold on.
Yeah.
Am I okay with this boundary? What
Hmm.
does so there's two sides to boundaries, obviously,
Absolutely.
but
Yep.
healthy boundaries is what we want to talk about. And boundaries are how we love people without losing ourselves. You want to set the boundary
Yeah. Hmm.
and not feel like you've let yourself down.
Hmm.
And that's important.
Yeah.
So I have notes because my ADHD will kick in and I will squirrel all over the place. So I'm going to have to look down. But I really want to focus on what the healthy boundaries look like when we're not using them or we're using them in an unhealthy way,
Sure.
and just some talking points
Yeah.
on how what it looks like. And
Hmm.
I don't know if it's going to be some more of those tools that we put in our toolbox,
Hmm.
or just we'll start a conversation for you, like an inward conversation for you on, do I have these? What
Hmm.
does it look like to enforce them, or to maybe even do a little soul searching on setting them?
I like what you said though. Just because there's the what, and it's the boundary, and there's the approach and how you. So the healthiness of it, right? It may be a healthy boundary, but the way that you incorporate it.
Yeah,
So I think that's important.
the way you said it.
The way you said it, yeah,
Yeah,
is very important.
we're going to talk about that a little bit.
All right.
A boundary is not a wall to keep people out. It's a door that teaches people how to come in.
That's so good you have to say it again.
Yeah. A boundary isn't a wall to keep people out. It's a door to teach people how to come in. It's protecting your peace.
Mm-hmm.
And you do have to teach people how you want to be treated.
Yeah.
And that's part of the boundary because they may choose to not respect that.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you handle that? So, like I said, there are healthy and unhealthy boundaries. And when you're setting healthy boundaries, they're very clear.
Mm-hmm.
They're calm, they're consistent, and they're communicated. When it's unhealthy, you give silence, you're passive aggressive, it's threatening, it doesn't stick, it's ever changing, and it can even be weaponizing towards someone. So you want to use I instead of you when
Yep.
you're talking about it. So, like I said, I kind of broke it down in three ways, like healthy boundaries in three ways.
Mm-hmm.
And number one I have is to protect your peace, not your ego. So if you're setting that boundary, it's like an example. I'm not comfortable with the way you spoke to me. I
You're
am not
starting, yeah,
comfortable.
first word.
Unhealthy. You don't get to talk to me ever again.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, you regulate it. You're not, um, you're not retaliating.
Yeah. Yes.
The I is letting you know, like, this is how I'm protecting my peace.
Mm-hmm.
Not you did this. You
Right.
didn't do that. So,
Yeah, because they automatically go on the defense.
of
They don't
course.
hear the boundary. They heard that they've done something.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And it's not about what someone else is doing, it's what you will accept.
Mm-hmm.
So, number two, healthy boundaries is not about you, or is about you, not about controlling them.
Mm-hmm.
If it's healthy, you're going to say something like, if this continues, I'm going to have to remove myself. If it's unhealthy, you better never do that again.
I versus you. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That and conflict in general. That's
Yeah.
those. That's like 101 to me. We talk about I versus you.
Well, because healthy boundaries are your response, not their behavior.
Yep. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And healthy boundaries feel selfish because it's I. It's not selfish. It's protecting your peace, knowing what you're
Mm-hmm.
going to accept, all of those things. So it's going to be uncomfortable.
Yep.
And I feel like some of the first boundaries I set, I gave myself the ick.
Yeah.
And they weren't healthy
Yes.
boundaries,
Yeah.
first of all. And then when I was like, oh, I'm not even doing this
Mm-hmm.
right, it still gave me the ick
Yeah.
with a healthy boundary because it was I.
Yep.
But if you don't set them and you get let down, that's on you because someone can't
100%.
treat you the way that you have not communicated that you want to be treated.
Mind reading.
Mind reading.
Let's talk
We
about that one later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't do mind reading.
Mm-mm.
And healthy boundaries do not damage healthy relationships. They expose unhealthy relationships.
I think that's important because I feel like people that probably aren't healthily doing things might hear this and go, "I don't want to change." It's only helping
Yeah.
helping put some parameters around it. So continue to do what you're doing, but like um, yeah, that's a you're keeping the health in the
Well,
relationship.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because people that don't want to respect you, it's going to expose that.
Yes. Oh yeah.
And that's not a healthy relationship.
Yeah.
And even if you express your boundaries, we're not going to get it the first time.
Right.
It's a behavior, it's a change, it's going to take work, and you just have to know what you're willing to
Mm-hmm.
work through.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and number three is probably the hardest, I think. What are you willing to do to enforce it? Because if you have a healthy boundary, and you don't enforce it, you're teaching people that your discomfort is negotiable.
Yeah.
And when you're setting them, like, you don't need to apologize.
Mm-hmm.
Don't use too many words. Keep it clear and
Mm-hmm.
minimal,
Yep.
but you can't let someone continue to disrespect it, I guess. But how are you going to enforce it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Are
Sometimes
you
if you ramble too much, they get confused. They don't hear the boundary anymore. You're now just talking circles. So
lots of
yeah,
words?
lots
Yeah.
of words. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Um, Healthy boundaries are, what will I accept? What will I not accept? What am I responsible for? What am I not responsible for?
Mm-hmm.
And it is a lot of I. Like, there's
Yep.
just no way around it when it's a healthy boundary.
Mm-hmm.
You have to take time. I personally feel if you're going to set healthy boundaries, you have to take the time to sit down with yourself and set what has happened that I felt disrespected, that I didn't feel comfortable in this situation. And you have to soul search, what are those healthy boundaries for
Mm-hmm.
you? Do research on them. I mean,
Yes.
we have these things that are so smart in our hands all the time.
Yep.
Read books, listen to podcasts,
Mm-hmm.
watch videos on YouTube, but you've got to research and learn so much before you try to do it. So you are doing it the healthy way and you are
Right.
respecting yourself and others, because you don't want to
Mm-hmm.
come across like, I'm setting all these boundaries with you, because
Yes,
that's
because it
going to
can
feel like an
be.
attack.
Yep. People can get turned off by that if they're trying
Absolutely.
to be friends with someone that is, or have a relationship with someone that's just like these are these are the rules, laid
Yeah.
out. So, um, but I'm also a person that's like, I always say this, and even though like someone else's boundaries may be, I will never ask someone of something that I'm not willing.
Absolutely.
So, if you are willing to create boundaries, are you also willing to respect others' boundaries?
Yes. So
So,
big.
yeah, it's a two-way street.
Yeah.
So, um, but yeah, because and all this being said, you could get hung up on my boundaries versus, oh no, you're gonna have some. So,
Well, I mean, work on weekends. Are you gonna check your emails after 6 o'clock? Okay, well, I have a boss that expects me to have work done as soon as they reach
hmm
out. Well, that gets very complicated, because if
sure,
that's your boundary, that's still your job. So what does that look like?
right, yeah,
What I mean, it could be, I'm not always going to be the friend that shows up at your house. You need to come to my house too.
hmm
And they don't have to be huge, life altering, but some of them are going to be, but some of them are just small.
yep,
Whenever I sit down with my family at dinner, my phone will be on silent and
hmm
not at the table. That's a time that is not going to, non negotiable. It's not going to be interrupted.
yeah. Or you're on a date. I'm going to put my phone off. I'm the same thing with the phone thing. I say the phone because it's
Absolutely.
attached to us 24/7.
Yeah.
But yeah, setting those boundaries. Or you know what? Even if you're not, I just think about this too. Even if you're not verbalizing it for somebody else, set them for yourself. Like, I am not going to do this because this time it this time with you is precious, and I'm going to abstain from something because I want to spend time with you.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But if you're setting a boundary with someone else, you got to tell them.
Yeah, yeah, that's important. Communication. We
you
talk about that all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I feel like that should have been the name of our podcast.
communication.
Communication.
I know. Did she just say that? Yeah, she did say communication again, a million
Mm,
times.
yeah,
So, yeah, it's a great topic.
it is. It's
Mhm.
not. I don't think it's clear, and don't hear me say that I do great at this. There are times, even with my kids, that
Mhm.
I will. I'm very clear, and then something will happen, and they'll pull at a heartstring or what. I mean,
Mhm.
I'm a mom that's single, and so I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
maybe this one time. And then they're like, oh, mom gave in. So let me do
Mhm.
it again and again. And then I'm like, hey, remember when I told you?
Mhm.
And they're like, yeah, but then you let me do it. And I'm like, I
Fair.
broke my own boundary.
Mhm.
Um, and
Yeah.
when you give an inch, sometimes people like to take a mile. So
Absolutely. Yep. I love it.
that's all I got, sis.
Well,
Is there
you
anything
say
else you
that's
want to
all,
talk
but
about,
gosh, that
then?
was great. I mean, especially for someone that's just hearing that for the very first time, right? These younger girls or younger guys coming in and saying, "Oh, boundaries, what?" And so, how to start from square one. It doesn't have to be, there's practice involved in this. So yeah, hopefully you all gain a little insight there. They're good, um, and then they're important. If they're
Yeah.
important to you, they're important. So
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
And it's not just work, or it
hmm
is friendship,
yeah.
family,
Yourself.
definitely yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Love it. You ready to jump into pressures that we put on men?
I don't know.
I'm squirming in my chair a little bit. I'm like, ugh.
Um,
Because when I looked at this, I was like, I do some of these things.
I think Hank needs me upstairs. You got this one on your own?
I can. I got you.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, pressure. And I feel like if this topic read pressures that men put on women, I could, I feel
Mm-hmm.
like we can go through here and be like, yep, yep. So with that being said, please hear that I am not an expert on this. I do know that we put pressure on men. Um, I did a little bit of research. I talked, just to ensure that I was kind of on the same page. So you may not, as a man, or you may not register with all these things, but you may hear something and go, yes, that is something consistently in relationships that I'm facing. Flip side, women. I think it's important to hear this because if you are doing these things, keep that in the back of your mind. Now, should you change your standards and your expectations? No, right? If that's something that's important to you, but just keeping in the back of the mind, there are these biased things that we do in dating,
Yeah.
women and men, and so these are just some things that have constantly kind of popped up as consistent things, if you will. So I kind of broke mine into little areas to expectations in general, the provider mentality, the old school and new school version of that, emotional performance, timeline pressures. I know. Dating the potential and masculinity expectations. So
Oh,
I
okay.
know,
Let's
I know.
go.
Jumping in. So this is a word I hear so much when I think about men and women saying they want a leader, want someone to lead. Um, and so to me, that entails so many things because leading can be different things for different people.
Yeah.
And so I think out of the gate, if a woman has that expectation for a man, maybe it becomes less of a pressure when you have that conversation. There's that word again, conversation. Um, because if you tell them what your expectation of leading is and they say, here's what I think leading is, you can find that, commonality, or if it's, just to have the conversation, I think, out of the gate is important.
Absolutely. The communication up front, saying what makes you feel like you're leading.
Hmm.
This is what, because then that is giving them a confidence.
Yeah.
Like, it may look totally
Hmm.
different, but if you figure it out,
Yeah.
let that man lead,
Hmm.
and you just love them right beside of them because you
Yeah.
know what they need to feel like the leader. And as a man, they want to be strong and
Hmm.
secure, but there's a soft side to them. And if you
Yes.
are supporting them while they're leading, it can be
Yeah.
beautiful.
It can be beautiful. So, with that being said, I came out of the gate with that one because I feel like all of these could almost go into that leader mentality.
Yeah.
Um, but also vulnerability with men. Sometimes we want that out of the gate, and vulnerability comes with trust. And you're not going to go on, oh, we matched, and hit the mic. It's going to be staticky. Oops. But we matched, and I want to know all the vulnerability things like that. That's something out of the gate. That's so vulnerability, ladies. Give space for that. I know I need to, again, when I say ladies, I'm talking to myself as well, and I will listen to this again and probably take notes for that. But yeah, be open to give it space.
When you say give it space, do you mean like give it time? Let like
Yeah,
everything doesn't need
let
to
it breathe.
happen.
Yeah,
Yes,
let it
let it breathe.
breathe.
I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
The
Um,
slow
Slow
burn.
burns. Those are not bad things. Um, Putting them to test. I mean, how many? I mean, I know for me. Oh gosh, guilty. Um, but you know, how long is it going to take him to respond? Or I'm going to say this, and what's his response going to be?
Oh, I
It's
was
the
like,
testing.
mm. Don't
Um,
you think that comes from insecurities,
yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah.
or because we have it in our head of what
hmm
we think that they're supposed to do?
There's intentional things, I think, but then there's the I want to catch. I'm going to catch them in a
Mm.
thing that I'm going to find out the gate that's going to make me get the ick or back off or the testing. So I don't know that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
why is the testing happening? And insecurity, it can be a really big factor there. So we test them, but we want consistency. So that I don't know. As a man, as I point to
What?
myself and say, as a man,
I was like, we need to
as
have a conversation.
as a
What did she just
person,
say?
as a person, someone that's testing me, and I'm in the consistency. Like, what consistency is there? Like, what? I don't know. That's just how do we find that consistency if we're testing
Well, I feel like
somebody?
if there's communication, you're not going to be testing. You know
Yeah,
what the expectation
yeah,
is.
hmm
Why are we testing
right.
if
Why do we test? I don't know. And then the mind reading. Um, Sorry, guys, that we think you can read minds. For the longest time, like the cues and the read between the lines, I always thought like, come on. And then I realized like, no, we think differently than men.
yeah,
Um,
so
thank
differently.
goodness.
Yeah.
But yeah, mind reading. So ladies, they're not. No one's a mind reader. Women may pick up on cues easier or read the room better or whatever that may be. Um, Not saying that all women are like that, but yeah, I don't know. Just the mind reading. I really wanted to throw that one out there because I feel like that one's just something that I used to think all the time. He doesn't know what I'm feeling. Have I said what I feel? No, but he should know.
Yeah. No, I absolutely agree with you on that. And but sometimes all real honesty,
hmm
like I don't want to over communicate and say like you act like everything is fine and you're not
hmm
needing anything, but I don't know if I'm doing this right or not.
Yes.
But I want to tell you that I need these things from you, but I
hmm
don't want to seem needy. I don't want to
Right.
seem but then if they're not doing it, I'm like, why aren't you doing this? So it's
It's a battle.
it is
hmm
because you don't want to come across as needy, but you do
Right.
need. It all goes back to that communication when you're
Yeah.
asking questions and the responses are, oh yeah, that sounds good. Oh yeah, that works. It's like, well, okay, I'm not gonna use, I'm not using
Yes.
my words. So it
Use your
does,
words. Who
and
said that? Yeah.
we as women do overthink more than most men. Most men, when they're in that deep thought, there's something wired in them. They just keep it to themselves.
hmm
Um,
We like to go. Some of us do.
some
I like, yeah,
I
I
love
talk a
words.
lot. We just said the same
You
thing in a
love
whole
love, and
different
I
way.
love words.
I do. Oh, my neck popped. I do love love. Do you love words? I like to talk too, though. Don't get
Hmm.
that twisted for sure. So then we have the provider mentality, old school versus new school. Um, and yeah, this one is a little different because different people think differently. You got you know dating of all ages, and then the headspace of if you are the provider, like, are you the person that's going to say I got the check? But again, if you're dating multiple people and you've been dating for a long time, that
Yeah,
adds up.
yeah,
So, um, or is it more of I'll get this one if you get the next one, and kind of like more of a back and forth kind of thing. But I do think that depending on how you were raised, um, provider when I when I was younger, provider meant financial. That
Yeah.
was the first thing that came to my mind.
Yeah.
And now, as we both know, that is provider is so many things and
Absolutely.
can mean so many different things. So dating, career success timelines. If you are dating someone older, or younger, understanding where they are in their career and or job,
Yeah.
anything. It doesn't have to be a career per se, but your job. If you've had short stints, or have you worked at a long place for a long time, or a place for a long time. So just that can be, again, just a pressure.
Well, yeah,
Um,
and it's different if you're young
mhm,
and if you're older and you're blending families.
yes.
That is, you
Hmm.
have to talk about that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Communication.
Yes.
Yeah. And then career goes into the financial piece. Are you a spender? Are you a saver? If you have two spenders, bless you.
Oof,
That makes things difficult.
right.
But yeah, financials of, you know, maybe not the first date, but at some point you probably want to talk about financial situations and,
Yes.
um, the stability of that as well. And are you the kind of people that want to just travel and do all the things, or
Right.
are you more futuristic and saving and that kind of thing? So again, um, but along with provider, that's just a piece. Again, financial is a piece of it, but
Right.
um, and then of course, I feel like we may be able to say this a little easier than you guys, but um, when I say guys, like men in general, but the feeling of being not enough.
Mm.
We have. I feel like there's jewelry left and right for women saying you are enough, and I
Yeah.
love that saying. But as a man, it may be harder for you all to say those words. And so yeah, because we want the strong
Yeah, but
guy.
how do we take the pressure off of that? Like, how do we get to a place where it is real? And it's like, hey, how do I make you feel enough?
I think for me, like something that if I'm in a spot in a relationship and I want to make a man to feel that way,
Mm-hmm.
I will use words of affirmation. Like, I see you working hard and providing, and I see that you're doing this, this, and this. It's just affirming what they are doing.
Mm.
Um, so I think that's definitely a way. Or
Taking little things off of their plate
yeah,
that,
mm-hmm,
but I think it has to, I mean, you have to know if the words of affirmation are what keep them going.
right,
Is that what it gives you that security? Because if
yeah,
some men are like, those are words, I care less about
mm-hmm,
you're using too many
yeah.
words.
But maybe even asking a man like, how can I make you feel?
Mm.
What do you need from me to make you feel that you are enough? And yeah,
Are you saying communication?
I'm saying communication. But also, like, if they are not telling, we don't do the mind reading thing and the assumptions and guessing, but as you get to know somebody, you
Mhm.
can probably start, you know, understanding maybe where they come from or what they're needing. Um, I look at my parents who were married for 50, sorry, mom, if I get this wrong, 53 years before
Wow.
dad passed. And I mean, the communication was always, they still had their arguments and whatever.
Right.
That's probably just from stubbornness, honestly. But, I'm sure they've had conversations and that
Mhm.
they know each other like the back of their hands. So I think that um, I feel like communication is a word we use a lot, but time, things
Yes.
take time. So, but,
Got to put in the effort and it takes
hmm,
time.
yep,
Yeah.
emotional performance. I mean, I think that for me, I put such a high value on emotional intelligence because I want a man that, like, you know, that can be on that level with
Yeah.
me. Maybe not on that level with me, and I don't mean to make me sound that I have high emotional intelligence, but someone that can, we're not so far off that we can't have
Right.
deep conversations or have um, more than surface level kind of
Mm.
kind of thing. So, but as a man, I can see and understand where that feels like pressure
Yeah.
to be right where we have the expectation, whether it's high, low, middle, in between, right? And then communication, you know, gosh, I had a guy like message me, a friend of mine, and he was like, "Gosh, why do women feel like we have to be such great communicators out of the gate? Like,
Mm.
it's a like he was like admitted it's an evolving thing for me. I'm learning to communicate.
But he knows that about
But he knows,
himself.
yes, there's that is self discovery,
Yeah.
which is fantastic. So, um, and then bless you guys if you're going to therapy. We're big fans.
Chef's kiss.
Yes, big fans. Um, the healing and the time that it takes. You're not going to go to one therapy session and be like, I'm fixed. It's all good. I got my stuff together. You glad I didn't say the other word?
Hmm.
Got my stuff together.
Hmm.
Try not to be, you know, trying to minimize the beeps. Um, but it's not going to take one session, and so we have to be patient. So yeah, healing takes time. Grieving takes time. Those things take time. So, were you going to say something?
On the therapy piece, I
Mm-hmm.
don't think that it's just a situational thing either.
Right.
Therapy is something that should be ongoing.
Mm-hmm.
You may need it more in certain parts of your life than others,
Yeah.
but if you're truly building that relationship, the bond, like that, you want that to be for life,
Mm-hmm.
you have to get to a place where you can do therapy together.
Ooh, yeah, I like that.
On some of these pressures will be worked out
Mm-hmm.
without with someone that's a professional that can help you walk through it
Mm-hmm.
and guide you, both of you,
Yeah.
not just one or the other. But couples therapy is not for the faint of heart. I
Mm.
mean, the therapy alone is hard, but you go into couples therapy, it is not for the faint of heart.
Yeah.
But if you are,
Do you know what I think when I hear couples therapy?
oh,
I feel like there is like a referee, aka the therapist, and you have like a little talking stick, and you if you are holding the talking stick,
you get
you get to
to,
talk. If you're not holding the talking stick, you're silent, and then it passes off back and forth. I don't know why that I think
that's
that's what
hilarious.
couples therapy is, but
I've not experienced that, but it could be. I don't know. I mean, I
well,
haven't.
I had a very short stint with couples therapy.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, we won't go into that one too much. But yes, I don't know. That was not how it happened,
Right, right,
obviously.
right.
But yeah, I
That's
don't know why. I feel like that's
the
like
picture you.
the therapist is in like black and white stripes. So refereeing
And if you're
the
doing therapy and you're like, yeah, it wasn't doing anything, it might have just been the wrong therapist.
yeah. Oh yeah. Yes.
You have to shop just like you do for a doctor, just,
Mm-hmm.
for anything else. But
Yep. Um, but yeah. So timeline pressures.
mm,
That by itself, just hearing timelines are can be pressures.
they
Yeah.
can.
Mm-hmm.
And I know everyone dates so differently. And
Mm-hmm.
we've talked about this, that in today, it's just hard to even discuss dating realistically with the way that it goes. But if someone has my attention
Mm-hmm.
and I am trying to get to know them, aren't multiple people. You can't do it,
Right.
my opinion. And so the fact that you have to even ask if that is a thing is so disheartening.
Like, why can't we go with the flow? Like, if it feels right.
But then some people are like, you know what? I'm not wasting my time with just one person, so I'm dating around. Like, okay, if that works for you.
Yeah.
I just don't
Communication.
see it like
Mm-hmm.
that. But it's very disheartening. And I think that it brings insecurities when you
Mm-hmm.
have to ask things like that. And you have the social media, and it's like, well, I see all of these women, or for the men, I see all of these men on your, and it's,
Competition. Is that that's the word I hear? What I
yeah,
think of. We're competing, and at the same time, right? I know
yeah.
that can kind of get kind of icky,
But as
but
far as timeline goes, like, if there's no one else, if you're trying to get to know someone,
mm-hmm.
don't put a timeline. I just,
Yeah.
you got to go at your own pace. Now, I think you have to communicate about it,
Mm-hmm.
like, but it's just such a different world. And so,
It is.
if we're talking about just dating, but if you're a young girl and you're wanting marriage and kids, then you need to have that conversation
Yep.
pretty early
Mhm.
on. You may not want to date for 7 years and be engaged for 5 because you're no, um have some timelines that I want to stick to, and
Yeah.
that's fine. But you need to have that conversation with them so you
Yeah.
guys are very clear. When
Mhm.
someone says at my age, I don't know what I want,
Mm. Is that a red flag for you?
I don't know that it's a red flag, but I know what I want.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Timeline. And one of the things I don't like hearing, sorry guys, is like, I don't know. Like, I like asking. I know this sounds so like I'm interviewing you, and forgive me because that's what I do in my job in real life. But like, where do you see yourself
Hmm.
in 6 months, a year down the road? What are your short term and long term goals? Yes, I know it sounds like a job interview, but also like
It
it can feel that
it
way.
can, but there
Yeah,
are parts of it that are
yeah,
like an interview,
yeah.
even in friendship,
Sure,
and that's okay.
yeah. But it is nice to have someone that can answer that question.
Hmm.
So you don't have to have it all figured out,
Right.
but having a some sort
Well, and for type A, as a woman,
of
you have these things. I mean, like I have all of these things laid out, and this is how I want it to look, and you
but I don't.
have to have clear expectations, but
Yeah,
it shouldn't be a pressure that you put on them
sure,
without there being a conversation. And if you guys aren't on the same page, then probably
yeah,
reevaluate.
but I also don't have all mine together. Like
Right.
I have a plan, but we know that God can come in at any time,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so and I've learned not to have can't have that control. So I don't want that control, which is good.
Mm.
But you can always have a plan. Just know that it could get altered a little bit.
Yeah.
Dating the potential. This little segment kind of hit home a little bit. Um, love me for me. Love me or love them the way they are. I know we've talked a little bit about this, but the idea of change and who someone is to their core. Can people change?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sure. Um, Even as you get older, you probably can say you've adjusted your ideas and your um, ideology and beliefs and that kind of thing. But I always see potential as like, this is what I want. This is the person I really want to date. And then you look at the person that you're currently dating and you're going, how can I get them from here to here? And so, and I say that because I've been guilty of that before, which is a hard thing to admit. So someone that's like ever trying to think
Yeah.
about dating me, they're probably like, "Oh my gosh, this girl does not have it together." But it's fine. I do a little bit,
She does.
but the potential, right? Thinking about how can you get this person, but also like, do they want to get to that? Like,
Do they
that's
want
a
to grow?
pressure. It's a pressure.
It can be,
It
yeah.
can't. Yeah, it can definitely be a pressure. And so like sometimes we get into the coaching mentality with them. Like I'm going to coach you into that potential, and so
Mm,
that
that's
can
dangerous.
really hurt a relationship. Been there, done that.
Resentment, we'll say.
Resentment, yeah.
Hmm.
And I ended up like just always felt naggy, and it was not a good way to turn to that relationship. But um, but yeah, just being able to have those conversations and you know using the words potential. Like, you may see someone giving a little bit of like, you see signs of, oh, I love that. Instead of like nagging somebody, I have learned to go, what is it, the Sigmund Freud like reward system? I
Hmm.
love when you do that.
Yeah.
That tells a man to keep doing it. Like, that's a signal of she likes that. So, yeah. Again, communication.
Yeah, and it's who they are at their core
Mm-hmm.
values. Are you equally yoked? And once if that is established and
Mm-hmm.
there's still growth that needs to happen, well, we all have room for growth. But if you're
Yeah.
with someone that says this is who I am, this is who I always want to be, and that's not who you accept or see yourself,
Mm-hmm.
that is a clear sign
Right.
they don't have any room to want to grow.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say ambition because that's not fair, but that they're set in their ways is
Yeah.
how my
Set in their
grandparents
ways.
would say it.
Mhm.
And but if the chemistry and the core values are there and you both have the potential to grow
Mhm.
and you want to see it through, I wouldn't call that dating for potential. I would I would say you're in a season of getting to know each other,
Mhm.
and if you continue to grow, you'll either grow together or grow apart.
Mm. Well, that's profound, and that's very true. Masculinity expectations. I want him to be strong, but I want him to be soft. That back and forth can be such a hard line, guys. Sorry, that's just that is a I've heard that quite a bit.
Yeah.
And be strong and physically strong, mentally strong, whatever strong looks like. But also, I want you to be vulnerable and soft, and I want to see the soft side of you. And um, I'm a firm believer, and like to the outside world, like yes, be that strong person. But when you're walking the door and you're with me, you can take all your armor off, right, and just be you. And that to me is like soft but strong. That's what I view soft or strong but soft. Um,
The way you just said it, I don't know what it was. I was watching or listening to a podcast or something just yesterday, and they were talking about relationships. And she shared that her grandmother said her favorite sound was hearing her granddad's keys hit the table because he was coming home and she was getting her, and it wasn't, I got to see him, I heard the car, like
mm-hmm.
it was his keys dropping in the bowl because she was gonna get, that was her favorite sound, was hearing this. And I thought, wow, because then
Yeah.
that he's in a safe place, then he
Mm-hmm.
can let down those walls of masculinity. And I was like, wow,
Yeah.
of all the things I've never heard, like
Mm-hmm.
that's just not a way that I'd ever heard it explained. I was like, that's
Yeah.
beautiful.
That is that 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Confident versus arrogant. There's a line
There's
there,
a fine
fine
line.
line, and you know that could be hard because if you're a man, you may be not trying to be arrogant and you're trying to be confident, but a woman may see that as arrogance, or if you're trying to go above, over and beyond, and you're not being true to who you are.
I think a true confident man doesn't give arrogance.
Yeah.
Arrogance comes from insecurities that are trying to be
Mm,
masked as confidence.
projected. Mm, yep. And then, there are women now that are, and I say now, have always been independent in their own way. So being a being a man trying to provide, but also respect the independence of the woman that he's with. So, but I think in all this being said, men and women have your standards. Don't settle for less than what you feel that you deserve.
Yeah,
But these are pressures.
they
These are
are.
just,
Yeah,
um, but you can alleviate that with communication. Um,
absolutely.
so, but I know, gosh, February was
Oh,
we started out,
right in your face.
we were putting together like ideas, and I think it was you that were like relationships. I was like, yeah, and it was like coming out of the gate, and then as we go through these, it's like I had a little pit on certain things that I read, or I was like, that's an area I need to work at.
Yeah.
So, we don't have it all together, just so you all
No.
know, and we are not licensed therapists.
No.
And so we're just here, just sharing kind of life experience and what
Yeah.
we've been through. But um, with that being said, March is we have. You want to give a little sneak
You
peek?
can go right ahead.
March is about becoming, and so just ideas and declutter and cleaning out, if you will. We'll just give you
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Cleaning out, whatever that looks
Roots.
like. Roots, yeah. So,
So we're gonna
yeah.
stick with hard topics.
Yeah.
We're just going
Yes.
on
We're
to
just going to keep
the
on going.
next one.
Yeah.
We
Mm-hmm.
went from February relationships and with Valentine's Day right into some spring cleaning.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be good. If
Mm-hmm.
nothing else, I mean, we're definitely getting some
Yeah.
good stuff, and the feedback that we've gotten has been great.
Yeah.
And if there's a younger man or woman that is listening in and this is helping them, then
Yeah.
we're having fun doing it,
Yes.
and
Absolutely.
we're, yeah, going to keep going.
Yep. So, but yeah, we're on. Just a reminder, we're on Facebook, TikTok. You think the more I say this, I would get it. Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcast.
Yes,
So, tune
got it.
in on any of those places. Feel free to give us feedback, guys. I've heard you all. They've approached us and saying, "What about the guys?" So, hopefully, there's a little feedback. Get some feedback from you on that topic.
Yeah,
But yeah, yeah.
that's all we got.
That's all we
That's a
got. That's all we
wrap.
got. That's a wrap.
First month
I
finished.
know. That's all right.
Here we go
But all as always, you have a seat at our
at our
table.
table. Bye, guys. Have a great week.
Bye.